Well, well, well. How quickly the tables turn. It was last year that Sam Darnold was in Minnesota, and this was Kevin O'Connell. The Minnesota Vikings had the opportunity to even have Sam Darnold this year. Now, Sam Darnold is still celebrating. Kevin O'Connell is not celebrating. And this is Sam Darnold this year. Yeah. Sam Darnold won 14 games last year with the Minnesota Vikings. For some reason, the Minnesota Vikings didn't think that he was the quarterback to go with this year. He went to the Seattle Seahawks and won 14 games again in the regular season, and then goes on to win the Super Bowl. I'm about to tell you, Minnesota Vikings fans, I believe that Kevin O'Connell is going to be on the hottest of hot seats come 2026. G Sports Nation, let's talk about it. Welcome, Minnesota Vikings fans, Seattle Seahawks fans, and sports fans alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of the G Sports Nation, where we preach sports. And if you like this video, don't forget at the end to please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We got a lot more sports coming up this year. Now let's talk facts. Kevin O'Connell. A lot of people were trying to let Kevin O'Connell off the hook. Kevin O'Connell is complicit. And a lot of people were letting him off the hook because the Minnesota Vikings fired their GM. Now, some people were saying that Kwesi got fired because he took 2 weeks off for paternity leave. I don't think that's the reason why he got fired. I mean, I believe the reason why Kwesi got fired is that when you look at how many draft picks he missed on, when you look at the fact that he was a part of the decision to keep JJ McCarthy or let Sam Darnold go and start JJ McCarthy, that's the reason why Kwesi got terminated. And some people, again, they were saying that it was because of a paternity leave. I don't believe the Minnesota Vikings would be so dumb as to do that. No, look back at what happened this season. Look at JJ McCarthy, look at Sam Darnold, and that was the reason. But you can't dismiss the fact. You cannot dismiss the fact that Kevin O'Connell was actually complicit in this. Check this out. This is an article over here from Dov Kleeman. He wrote this. Oh boy. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell was the primary lead in the 2024 draft process that led to the team drafting JJ McCarthy per Alec Lewis. In the context of the quarterback decisions that were made last spring to absolve Kevin O'Connell from any and all influence in how that all played out would not be accurate to the nature of how that specifically played out. Kwesi Adolphus-Mensah to be the fall guy. Yeah. Kevin O'Connell was complicit. And so this is why I'm telling you, I believe Kevin O'Connell, he is going to be on the hottest of hot seats because, okay, Sam Darnold goes on to win the Super Bowl. JJ McCarthy looked terrible. So let's see now this year, can you turn the Vikings around? Can you get them to a 14-game somewhere around 13 or 14 wins in the season with JJ McCarthy? I'm going to tell you right now, I am struggling to believe that they are going to be able to get JJ McCarthy to where Sam Darnold is. And to make matters worse, Justin Jefferson went smooth off on the Minnesota Vikings for letting go of Sam Darnold. And this was before the Super Bowl. Check this out.
Friday afternoon, you may have missed this. The Vikings firing their general manager, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, just 7 months after signing what the Vikings called a multi-year contract extension. Meanwhile, star receiver Justin Jefferson was on the Sports Seriously podcast and had some very interesting thoughts about his former quarterback, Sam Darnold.
Everyone knows the difficulty of the quarterback position this year, of how we was dealt it. But of course, having a quarterback that's already had the season under his belt with us, knew the plays, knew the playbook, knew the players, of course, throwing to me, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, all of these guys. I definitely felt like we would have done better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Justin Jefferson made it even worse. Justin Jefferson went scorched earth on them. I mean, Justin Jefferson's season this year was insanely terrible. Why? Because of JJ McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell's decision. And so I'm telling you, let me give you one more article. A lot of people don't realize, why did the Brian Flores contract get down to where, of course, I believe Brian Flores wanted to go out there and be a head coach. But Brian Flores, I think, also was frustrated with some of the decisions they were making as it applied to the players. Says over here, Brian Flores' frustration with the Vikings revealed after GM firing. Says here, several reports of surfaced about Flores' hesitance to sign a new contract with the team after he allowed his contract to expire after the 2025 season. Flores explored head coach opportunities with the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers and the defense coordinator opening with the Washington Commanders before ultimately signing a new contract to stay in Minnesota in late January. The decision may have been made under the stipulation of Adolfo-Mensah's ousting. Brian Flores allowed Vikings contract to expire, where he read that. But it says here, Adolfo-Mensah's background led some around the NFL to view him with skepticism, and he acknowledged several times during his tenure that he was learning on the job in everything from player evaluation to leading his front office staff. It says here, Brzezinski, an emissary during tense discussions, such as Daniel Hunter's 2023 hold-in, Gosling wrote, sources spoke of frustration from the team scouting staff and from defensive coordinator Brian Flores, who let his contract expire before signing a new deal in January, January 21st. Again, the Vikings' lack of draft success seemed to be a constant stressor, leaving the roster without depth. It needed to weather injuries and forcing Brzezinski to cover draft mistakes with clever, structured contracts that were lucrative enough to woo players to Minnesota without putting the Vikings back in cap purgatory. And also, I mean, we got to be real. A part of that also is the decision to go with JJ McCarthy. I mean, you got to think that it would affect how Brian Flores is thinking about the Minnesota Vikings. Not just with what's going on in the draft. Brian Flores was able to help with some of that, not only with some of the things that they were doing with personnel as far as players on defense, but also just what they were making decisions on in general as it applies to the offense. Man, I'm telling you, all of this, to me, if you are reading the tea leaves, all of this is equaling to Kevin O'Connell has got to be on the hot seat. He's got to be on the hot seat. Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, I mean, he has got to be on the hot seat. JJ McCarthy, Kwesi does not get all of the blame for JJ McCarthy. He does not get the blame for letting go of one Sam Darnold. Kevin O'Connell has got to share that responsibility. I know he's got to be sick now. I know the Minnesota Vikings ownership have got to be sick now. You had this year's Super Bowl winning quarterback in your facility, on your team, and you chose to go with JJ McCarthy over Sam Darnold. Where'd that get you? I can tell you where it got you. Right here. I'm telling you, O'Connell's got to be on the hot seat. Minnesota Viking fans, y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all believe O'Connell is going to be on the hot seat? I do. I mean, I believe he's got to have a heck of a season this year. NFC Championship game or Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to accept anything else from O'Connell. He'll be on the hot seat, and then the following season, I believe he'll be fired if they don't do something. I think he's going to have a hard time with JJ McCarthy. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. I know I've been seeing what some of y'all have been defending JJ McCarthy. We'll sound off in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until the next time, the G Sports Nation, where we preach sports. Peace.